everybody, it's Jen from Formula Fun, and I just wanted to take some time today to go over the beginnings of an interactive notebook. Many of you have seen my videos in the past, and if you haven't, I suggest you take some time and go look at those. So this is the notebook that I have done for the past school year, and I have videos on this and how I've set it all up. And you can see that I've gone through and we've done flippables for various ideas, closed notes for ideas, and other things, as well as just setting up the entire notebook for the entire year. So I wanted to show you how to start that this summer and being prepared to start interactive notebooks in your classroom. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need to know your standards. I know that majority of the states are on Common Core standards, and some of the states still have their own state standards as well. So you need to know what your state standards are, have a copy of those, have those printed out. This is a great checklist from Miss Math Dork on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I will leave the link to this in my description. She has it available for all grade levels. So on top of needing to know your standards, you also need to know your state's scope and sequence. So this is an at a glance what the Georgia Department of Education wants teachers in 7th grade teaching each unit on. So this is a helpful document. Most districts have this document, or they have a document that you can look at. If not, ask for it, or you might need to make one on your own. And when you have these two things, the standards and the scope and sequence, that is when you can pull out my freebie interactive notebook planning sheet, and you can start planning what your year is going to look like. You can see that I have planned the first 3 units for 7th grade to go along with a workshop that I'm teaching in Georgia later this summer. And I just want to show you the basics that you need to work on when you are setting up your notebook. I always suggest a Mead 5-star notebook, mainly because they have a really heavy protective cover, and that's what's going to last over the course of the year. Some teachers like composition books, some teachers like using a binder system. Whatever works for you, go for it. I always print out my little labels with my information, and this simply has my website, my email, and my Twitter. So students can get a hold of me. This is actually for a workshop, so this is for teachers to get a hold of me. You can see the one I used in my classroom last year. It had my name, it had my email address for work, it had our class blog, and it had my Twitter because they were able to tweet me. So in a 5-star notebook, it's great, that heavy protective cover, but it also starts with a pocket, which is great to hold those items that you haven't really finished or keep homework in, anything like that. First thing I do is I go through and I number all of my pages. Well, take that back. Half of my pages. I go through and do all of the odd numbers. Why do I do all the odd numbers? Well, one, kids knowing an odd number is a standard for many grade levels. It helps kids with patterns and stuff like that. But this way you have the right sides numbered, and as you go, you can go through and number the even sides. That's how I do it. So the first page is your cover sheet, and I always let that be up to the student's interpretation. Mine last year was just like this. It was just really simple and fun. This year I'm thinking of doing one a little bit more fancy and putting it on my computer and then having it for right there. And then you will see the next page is also blank. That is where my the notebook rubric will go. And I just need to print out a copy of that and add it there. And I've started my table of contents, and I've started the beginning, the bones of my notebook. So I start with 4 pages of table of contents, and you can see I've already got them worked out. And then I go to a page that says My Math Goals. It simply has a place for 5 goals to be written down, and then you can individually conference with your student on what their plan is to be able to achieve those goals throughout the year. After that, you can see I haven't kept going. But this is the basic. This is the very beginning. So that cover page, adding in the math rubric, starting your table of contents, and going from there. If you see my table of contents, you can see they're in different colors. And that is because a tip that I had learned last year, and I am not sure who I learned it from. I would love to give you credit if you see this. I started with my basic information in one color because that is that first unit. Ooh, there's a bug. But then when I start Unit 1, I want all of my Unit 1 stuff in one color. So this way it's easy to determine quickly just where the new units start. And just like last year, I will add tabs to the side. I have bought a tab punch that I'm just going to simply punch them with and add them on. That way my students and people in my workshops can do this as well. So I hope this answers some of your questions on how to start your notebook. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at formulafun@gmail.com or leave a comment below in the comment section. Thank you and have a fabulous day.